Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to break down the core framework from Dr. Ebi Ofrey's book, Build What Matters. Now, if you're a founder or even just thinking about being one, this is going to save you a ton of time, money, and let's be honest, heartache by focusing on the one thing that really matters for success. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's so powerful because it's counterintuitive. Success isn't about having the most elegant code or the slickest design. It's all about solving the right problem. Everything else, and I mean everything, flows from that one decision. So why do so many smart, capable people end up building the wrong thing? Well, it usually starts with something Dr. Ofrey calls the cool idea trap. It's exciting, it's seductive, and you know what? It is the #1 killer of startups. And look, Dr. Ofrey learned this lesson the absolute hardest way. His first startup, Sphinx Health Tips, was an SMS subscription for health education. Everyone he pitched it to said, wow, that's a brilliant idea. But then launch day came and crickets. Nobody paid. Why? He'd built a clever solution to a problem people didn't actually feel. So that failure, it actually sparked this huge shift in his thinking, and it's the absolute core of this entire framework. You've got to, just for a moment, forget about your awesome solution and always, always start with the problem. So you can basically see two paths a founder can take. The solution-first mindset, that's driven by your own skills. It asks, what cool thing can I build? But the problem-first mindset is totally different. It asks, what real problem can I solve? And that tiny little switch in how you ask the question, it changes everything. And this is such a critical point. Your passion, that's the fuel that keeps you going. But it is not the map. The market's need, that's the map. Look, people don't pay for your passion. They pay you to make their pain go away. Simple as that. That's how you build something that actually matters. All right, so let's get practical. How do you go from some vague idea of a problem to a real business opportunity? Dr. Ofrey gives us 4 essential filters. Think of these as your go, no-go checklist before you even think about writing a single line of code. First up, and honestly, this is the big one, is the problem truly painful? I'm not talking about a little annoyance. I'm talking about something that really truly hurts your customer, whether it's costing them money, causing them stress, or just wasting their time. So you have to ask yourself, are you solving a paper cut or a finger chop? A paper cut, right, it's annoying, but people learn to live with it. A finger chop, that's a full-blown crisis. People will pay anything to fix it, and they'll pay to fix it right now. You want to be in the finger chop business, period. Okay, so let's say the problem is painful. Great. But that's not enough, because hey, if only like 3 people in the entire world have this problem, you've got yourself a hobby, not a business. So the second question is the problem common? So how do you know if it's common? It's all about finding patterns. When you're out there talking to real people, doing those customer interviews, are you hearing the same frustrations again and again? If you hear people from totally different walks of life describing the exact same pain point, you might be onto something big. All right, filter number 3. This one's all about timing. And in this startup world, timing is, well, it's pretty much everything. The problem can be painful, it can be common, but the killer question is it actually solvable today? Just look at Dr. Ofrey's later success, GeroCare. It provides doctor home visits for elderly parents in Nigeria. Now, that same idea would have absolutely tanked back in 2003. Why? The world just wasn't ready. You didn't have widespread smartphones, reliable GPS, or trusted digital payments. A problem is only solvable when the tech and the ecosystem have caught up. And that brings us to the final filter, the one that separates a cool project from an actual sustainable business. Is it monetizable? Because a real market is made of people who not only need a solution, but are willing and, this is the key, able to pay for it. And this is where you have to get super clear on the difference between the user and the payer. With GeroCare, the user is the elderly parent in Nigeria, but the payer, that's the adult child living abroad who has both the emotional motivation and the financial means to pay. If they had tried to get the elderly parents to pay, the company would have gone nowhere. You have to build your whole model around the person who's actually cutting the check. Okay, so let's say your idea passes all 4 of those filters. Awesome. Now we get to the amplifiers. 2 things that can take a good idea and make it an absolute grand slam: intensity and frequency. Intensity, that's all about the emotional weight of the problem. We're talking guilt, fear, the risk of losing money. Those are powerful drivers that make people act. And then there's frequency. How often does this problem pop up? A daily or weekly pain creates habits and keeps people coming back to your solution. Just think back to that paper cut analogy. One paper cut? Annoying, but you'll live. But what if you got a brand new paper cut in the same spot every single morning? Yeah, suddenly that little problem feels like a huge, nagging wound you'd pay anything to fix. That's the power of frequency. All right, let's put all these pieces together. Because when you combine those 4 filters with these 2 amplifiers, that's when you find what Dr. Ofrey calls the startup sweet spot. This right here is the holy grail. It's that magic intersection where a problem has everything going for it. And when you find this sweet spot, you don't have to push your product onto people. The market will literally pull the product right out of your hands. So here you go. This is the whole checklist. You can literally take your idea and run it through this list right now. Is it painful? That creates urgency. Common? That means you have a market. Solvable? It's actually possible today. Monetizable? Someone will pay. And frequent? That's what keeps customers around. And this, right here, is the why. This is why GeroCare smashed it, while Sphinx Health Tips fizzled out. It found a problem that was deeply painful and intense for diaspora children. It was super common, it happened frequently, and it was finally solvable with modern tech, all for a group of people who were able and willing to pay. It ticked every single box. So there you have it. We've walked through the whole framework, from dodging that cool idea trap all the way to finding the startup sweet spot. And that brings us to the last and maybe the most important question of all. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one thing. It's not about what's cool, it's not about what you can build, it's about what you should build. So after all this, I want you to take a good hard look at what you're working on and just ask yourself, are you really building what matters?